Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. We are having a nice little run in these markets. They have been pretty friendly to us the last couple of days. We've seen some very nice moves and some great setups and so on. So let's talk about the continued movement here. First of all, quick look at stocks and how the U.S. markets ended today. Definitely a positive day. S&P and Dow finished up. But as you can see, one thing that I've been looking at on the other things is exactly what this headline is. As stocks continue higher, people are getting less and less excited about staying in the market. So that will be interesting to see how that pans out. We've seen a few reports today. A couple of things happened there. Coming into tomorrow, we have the core CPI. Excuse me, which is a decent mover, so that'll be worth keeping an eye on. We don't have a live trading session on Friday morning, remember, but I will be kind of checking into the chat Friday morning and kind of looking at things and just seeing where they go. But that's about all we have for the news announcements. The University of Michigan consumer sentiment's not that big of a deal, but it's worth keeping an eye on. Okay, so we've had some nice little movers and some nice little runs here on all of these pairs, and it looks like things are finally starting to turn and we're getting a little bit of activity. Now the euro dollar has run up to the top of this channel here, and this is one that remember yesterday in the wrap-up session I talked about. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this one, and it's moving pretty nicely still. We had this nice little spike up today, nice little reversal candle right there. And you can see that on this 4-hour channel and daily channel, it's really kind of just staying in that area. I still think there's a decent chance of getting into that 128.80, but we might see a break and a run higher first of all before we get lower. So again, if we start breaking above 130.75 area, which is the weekly high, that's where I'm really long on this one. But even before that, I think we've got a good opportunity. I want to enter against these lows, which we're a little bit away from right now, about 90 pips. I want to see if we can get some retracement into kind of just this little support zone right here. Where we have our daily pivot, and you can see that we've kind of tested that area, and we've had some activity there, and that's once again around the 129.80 or so area, and we're not that far off. We're only about 20 pips away, so I think around 129.80, 80, 85, trading long against this low is a good entry with our minimum. So our stops are below 129. They're basically about 129.05 is where our stops would be with an entry of about 129.80. Our first target is going to be 130.75, which is about 90 pips away, and then our next one is going to be 131.35, which is around 150 pips away. So basically, once again, with some larger stops, I'm looking to get long right around 129.80, daily pivot, that little high of the day before it broke. There's some good support right there. So that's where I'm looking to buy into this euro dollar and get long right here and take this thing on up. So pretty cut and dry. That's just kind of it. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll see how that one plays out. Of course, we have to keep in mind this channel right here, and we could get some big rejection off that channel. So that's why we're going to get long on some resistance down, or on some support down here. And then as we buy into this upper channel, we should be 40, 50 pips in profit, and we'll be able to lock in and see if we can withstand the test of the channel and the 200 moving average and break out of that. So that's what I'll be looking for there. As you can remember, yesterday in the daily wrap-up session, we talked specifically about 149.80 as a big level to look for. And we got a break of 149.80 this morning, and the thing ran 130 pips, no questions asked, just right on through. Major run up. Now, that's significant for the pound dollar because we've had some nice moves on this pound dollar. But now what we're looking at here is a big channel. We've got this big channel right here that we've just been riding along the bottom of that channel for like a month. And it's about time that this finally starts to turn and give us a little bit of correction, a little bit of retracement. And so we're seeing that. So that break above 149.80 was right there, was our weekly pivot. We got a nice little move up, and this thing's heading right on up there. Now, we're going to have some pretty nice little resistance up here around 150-200. We may or may not be able to break that, but that for right now is at least our general target. The question is, where do we get in? How do we enter on this? Friday levels are some of my favorites. So we have our Friday high right here, which is going to be some nice support now, some resistance, and we plowed right on through that. So I'm going to be looking, and also on this little recent short-term range. I'm not a huge fan of the Fibonacci on the 1-hour chart, but But for the most part, I'm going to be looking to enter long around 150.40 on the pound dollar. 150.40 to buy here, and I'll keep my stops fairly tight. Probably give about 30 pips or so. If we start to break too much beyond that, I don't think we need to have 130 or 40 pip stop. Let's just see if we can hold this 38% fib and this Friday high. If we can hold that entry at 150.40 should give us a nice opportunity to trade up into that 150.200, and that is absolutely what I'm looking for. And then from there, we're going to see where this thing goes. If we look at Fibonacci levels from the very highest point of this run to the very lowest point, we can see that our 23% fib is right at just about 150.200. You can see that we've got a lot of consolidation right there. So our first fib level will be right there. We'll be kind of coming out of the or coming to the top of the channel here. If we break that, then we've got a very, very good chance to head up into that 38%, which is 154. 154.20, lots of good pips there, but we're not going to think about that yet. What we're going to be looking for is just the run to 150.200, and we've got to get a good entry, and I think that good entry is going to be around 150.40 or 150.50 with, again, 30 to 40 pip stops. Let's give ourselves enough space, but I don't want to go, I don't want to go crazy on getting it below the low of this range, because I don't think we need to risk that much on this one. So that's what we're looking for there. That's how I'm interested in buying into the pound dollar. Aussie dollar made a nice little run as well. You can see that the Aussie dollar has, big reaction off this daily pin bar right here, and it's really just been turning and moving since. So a very nice little run. I'm starting to look at things more along the lines here. As far as just kind of creating a little bit of a short-term channel. Now, remember, we have a couple of things in play. If we look at this channel here, you can see on this short-term channel that we're creating right there that we're definitely running to the top of that channel. We have a nice reversal candle here on this 4-hour chart, and we might see some good retracement. So what I would be looking for once again is maybe another test of this 103.35.40 area. We're not that far away from it. We're 45 pips away. If we can test down here 135.40, this was the trade we got into this morning. We got in just right about here to buy and ran that up nicely. I think if we can get another test of that, that will be interesting to get into, and that way we can keep some tight stops, because if we do get that test, it could turn into be a little short-term head and shoulders pattern, and the breakdown could really take us lower. But I think we're going to have a lot of support at this 103.35, so that's generally where I'm going to be looking to get long on this pair. I think that there's even a potential opportunity at selling against this high. We're not far off the high, about 25 pips or so. And there's a short-term, high-risk kind of scalp trade off of that you could attempt, but I'll probably stay away from that. I'll just be looking to buy on the dip towards 103.35. We have lots of resistance up here at 103, 75, 80, 85, 10400, and so that's what we want to keep an eye on. But it looks like we're definitely moving to the top of some channels, and we're still staying below this trend line, and we've kind of bounced off a couple of things. So far, I think things are still intact, but again, I would prefer to buy on that dip and possibly short-term high-risk scalp sell against this high down into that support. So that's really kind of all I'm looking for. I think, again, euro dollar, about 20 pips of retracement. I'm long in this pair. Pound dollar, I want to see about 30 pips of retracement, and I'm long on that one. Aussie dollar, about 40 pips of retracement, and I'm long there. The rest of these guys, I'm just kind of waiting. Euro yen looks like it's holding in there pretty strong. Aussie yen is maintaining in this channel very nicely. We might get another little dip and a bounce and ability to trade off that, so we're going to keep an eye on that as well. So those are going to be some of the things I'll be looking at, but my attention will definitely be on euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar going into tonight and tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon as the market closes. Thanks a bunch, everybody. Best of luck, and I will see you in the chat.